Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Julie from Dapos. I lead the business team there. Here, I'm very glad to be here to share some details and info about Dapos with you. So Dapos is the operating protocol that tries to make DApps as user-friendly as the Web2 ones. So here, we saw a recent study that shows actually 96.8% of people, they find it very hard to use dApps. So maybe that's the reason why now we have around millions of users here that's using Web3 dApps. But there are actually billions of more out there, which is blocked by barriers. We believe that for the mass adoption of Web3, we need to tackle these barriers and really to make the apps more easier to use. Just like Pooch just mentioned, he mentioned about billions users are not billions of dApps, which I totally agree with that. We think that we need everything to be just more easier to understand. So here I use a new BSC user as an example. So he wants to try the Perpetual protocol on OP chain, but here he might be finding it very confusing. As a very first and new user to start their journey in Web3, he will need to find a wallet or account and to memorize 16 random words, which is very difficult to memorize and easy to forget. Even he stores it somewhere, it can get lost. So that can be the very first thing to get people dropped out of the process. And we think that's a very pretty thing. And then the second barrier is a complicated workflow. So for example, to start with liquidity mining, 5 steps minimum are involved. And if it is involved in different chains, also on different DApps, things can be even worse. It can be over 60 clicks with 10 plus steps, which can be very confusing. So here, Dapos tries to solve the problem by combining account abstraction plus an efficient network, which will bring a much more user-friendly experience in using the apps. So as we mentioned, there will be no more confusing recovery rephrase, which, oops, what if I forgot my recovery phrase? Don't worry about it. It can be reset anytime. So it's totally resettable. And also is a unified account, which I will explain more later in details. And also, it's gonna be a so Dapos can execute very complicated workflow for you guys. So it's gonna be totally one-time and automate. So more user case. I still take a OP Perpetual protocol, for example. So we can make it 19 less, more complicated from 76 clicks to 4 clicks. And 12 times faster, I promise. So it can take 12 minutes because it involves, different technology. It's involved in different DApps and different confirmations of, execution. But now, once you get in the Dapos account, it's unified. You just deposit your USDC from your Ethereum wallet. And now you only need to confirm the once for signature request because all the workload is combined. So you have to, no matter it's sequential or it's in parallel, you can use it. And finally, it's done. So everything will be automatically done by Dapos within 1 minute. Oops, that's fast. Yeah, and good news that we have added payments like Binance Pay and credit card to make it even more Web2 user-friendly. Just to give you guys a bit more info about Dapos. So it has been a really eventful and productive journey from the Dapos team. Since the very successful debut of Dapos since early October 2022, we have actually achieved remarkable milestones. For example, we've been enrolled in the Binance Labs Season 5 incubation program, where we have a very meaningful journey with the Binance Labs team. And also, we have forging about over 20 products for collaborations. And finally, we have secured the investment from Binance Labs as well, also along with many other reputable VCs. So for us, next step, we are very thrilled to announce the launch of our version 2, Dapos version 2. So to be honest, we have launched it about 1 week ago on Twitter. So very exciting roadmaps of the future. So we promise more development in the coming months to come. And also, that Dapple's version 2 actually represent a significant leap forward into in terms of functionality and user experience. As it actually, we believe it will revolutionize the multi-chain working process and system. So today I would like to share some advantages of the Dapple's version 2. Number one is the unified account. So normally this will really bring a seamless user experience for you if you're trying to build your multi-chain, on-chain assets but it's crossing chains. But now you can have everything unified, so which would eliminate the problem to differentiate between various chains, so that you don't have to jump from one chain to other chain. So now you can totally focus on your total fund and assets. I believe it's easier for you to build your assets. And secondly, it will support task dependencies. So for example, it actually now supports users to execute very complicated workflows. So instead of you have to go through different sequentials or parallel kind of confirmations, now you only need to confirm once. So it's totally automate, just one click and it's done. So it actually enables users to execute very complicated workflows. And thirdly, it's a new bidding system. So it actually incorporates different advanced functionalities that enables users for the bidding and billing of the bidding system. So for example, we allow service nodes now to participate in the network and generate revenue through their services. So how it works is that users, they can submit a transaction request and pay for a fee, but now they can choose the fee to pay. So if you're gonna have a very complicated workflow to generate, or you have a very large amount of capital, large amount of notional, then you might wanna put a competitive bid, and then the service node will take it. Here it goes. So just to make everything more efficient, and more to share about the product. So here I want to share just a little bit more general roadmap of the project. So the project is divided into phase 1 and phase 2. So for phase 1, we actually are building a front-end SDK for DApps to use to integrate. For example, for phase 1, we have many partners integrated with us. One of them is the biggest and also very major partner is GMX. So we have built a front-end DApp for them. For example, this is just the very first generation of the front-end SDK. So we are supporting BNB chain, Polygon, and OP chain, besides of their original Avalanche and Arbitrum. So any user from those chains, once you log in, you can just trade seamlessly on any chains and without crossing chains. So you can just deposit either GLP or deposit stable coins or stake GLP, and to earn the yield. So, but for version, as I mentioned, as for version 2, it's gonna be all chains connected and also more powerful transactions and execution workflows. And then it's the phase 2 product. So it's gonna be a mini program, which is even more user friendly. So this is just a simple example, a demonstration of what it can look like. So for example, you have all your assets unified. You can see you have your total value or crossing chains, and then you have access to all different dApps. And then once you want to execute, it's just one time. So it will combine all the workflows, no matter it's in sequential or in parallel order of your job task. And then it's combined. Also, finally, everything will be done by Dapples within a short period of time. So we did study the latency about the transactions, and we are working really hard, our devs teams, to try to reduce the latency, because we think latency is really something that we talk to our partners, that's something they care about, and they really want to something they really want to focus on and resolve. So the thing is that it really depends on where your assets originally come from, and also the notional, and also the confirmation speed. But the thing is that we're really trying to, so the next roadmap for us is to really decentralize our nodes. So we are partnering with more nodes and, what I mean is like server node, so they can be powerful like, pools or validators that will really try to solve this latency problem together with us. Yeah. And finally, this is the QR code for our Dapos version 2 video, which is very updated, and you guys can try and use it. Yeah, and I'll be here for the morning here, so any questions, you are very welcome to find me in person, and I'm happy to answer. Just one last thing, if there's any questions.
Does anyone have a question? Okay. So thank you very much, and thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks very much.